Today, I will share our estimated monthly costs to retire in Albania, including rent, groceries, utilities, internet, cell phone, restaurants, drinking water, laundry, and transportation. If the two of us retire here on a tight budget, I thought I would have $1,000,000 by the time I reached my 60s, but that just didn't happen. I could blame the system, but that's not my style. Complaining about things outside my control doesn't move the ball forward. So I never play the victim card. I just adjust my strategy and move forward. First, I decided I was not willing to wait until 65 or 70 to retire. I've been living overseas since 2007, so I knew I could retire overseas with way less money than I would need back in the USA. So I spent well over a decade putting my feet on the ground all over the world to find my own perfect retirement paradise. This past summer, we toured all over Eastern Europe, and one of our favorite places to retire cheap in paradise is Tirana, Albania. While in Tirana, we shot all the video you're watching with our feet on the ground here. My name is Dan, and the beautiful one you see in the video with me is 𝐂𝐿. Albania was my 72nd country and 𝐂𝐿's 46th country. After I share my cost of living in Tirana, Albania, I'll share what I learned about healthcare, food, real estate, things to do, social considerations, visas, walkability, weather, internet speeds, and expat considerations. Okay, estimated cost to retire in Albania. Rents. Today, I found this furnished one-bedroom apartment advertised online with a long-term lease at 380 euros or $422 per month. The ad says it's just 5 minutes from central Tirana, which is where we would want to live. If you rent for a short period on Airbnb, it would be much more expensive. A larger apartment could easily cost twice as much per month, so the middle range expenses, I estimate $700 per month or more depending on area and size. Here's the process we use to find great apartments. So we'll show you a table of all the estimated expenses in a moment. We'll use $422 per month for our lower rent estimate and $700 per month for the middle cost of living estimate for expats who want more space. In case these rents are too high for you, just about 30 minutes outside of Tirana, rents can be as much as 30% lower and even cheaper in rural areas and smaller towns. Next week, I'll show you what it costs to live on one of the most beautiful beaches in Albania. Okay, utilities. For the apartment above, we estimate the year-round utilities averages for us would be about $60 per month. The utilities would cost more for the larger space, starting at around $95 per month. Groceries. We'd shop in the farmer's market for fresh fruits and vegetables and purchase non-perishable foods and other things like shampoo and detergents in the grocery stores. We estimate about $320 per month for groceries. Other expats are likely to spend more on imported groceries they miss from home, spending $420 per month or more on groceries, since most don't go to the farmers markets and eat local. Okay, restaurants. We would eat out twice per week, mostly in more local style restaurants, averaging $5 to $7 per meal per person, and 1 or 2 splurges per month of $10 to $14 per meal per person. If you add all that up, we'd spend around $180 per month for the two of us in restaurants. We may have a beer here and there, but that's covered below under alcohol. Other expats are likely to eat in more Western-style foods in expensive expat-style restaurants and less in the local-style restaurants, so they would likely spend more like $280 per month for 2 people in restaurants. It is lifestyle dependent. Okay, cell phone data. The cheapest prepaid Vodafone SIM cards in Albania are about $18 for 30 days, including 10 gigabytes of data, 2,000 minutes of talk time, and 2,000 texts. My Android phone will act as a hotspot so we can both be on the internet when we're out of the house together. Other retired expat couples are likely to buy 2 prepaid SIM cards, so they would spend more like $36 per month. Laundry. The apartments all seem to have closed washing machines. The above grocery estimate includes laundry detergent, so 0 for laundry. Drinking water. We read online that the water is clean here and many people drink from the water from the tap, but we'd be a little more careful. We didn't see reverse osmosis delivery in 20-liter jugs like they have in the US here, so we'd probably just get a Brita water filter. The filter refills would be about $5 per month. Internet. We read online that in-home Wi-Fi costs about $28 per month for 100 megabits per second. Public transportation. We didn't ride the city buses in Tirana because we lived in the center and everything we wanted to see was in walking distance, less than 2 kilometers, which is about 1.2 miles. Plus, it didn't rain at all while we were there in July. I found this link which describes how to use the city buses, so you can use that. We also use Blue Taxi, which you can order by text on WhatsApp. I provide the phone number for that. There's also a taxi app called 𝗵𝗄𝗄, which I'll provide a link to. So we estimate about $50 per month for buses and taxis. Other expats might walk less, spend more on taxis, and less on public transportation. So I'll estimate about $120 per month for them. Alcohol, which is optional, of course. Domestic beers in grocery stores in Albania start for about about $1 US for half-liter size, which is about 50% larger than standard size beers in the US for $1. In bars and restaurants, half-liter, which is draft domestic beers, run about $3 to $5. And we estimate about $120 per month on alcohol for the two of us. Many other expats would spend a higher amount for imported foreign or craft beers in expat bars, so maybe $220 per month for 2 people, assuming they're not into imported whiskey or wine. Entertainment, which is optional, of course. We'd budget about $200 per month for entertainment for the two of us. We enjoy doing more do-it-yourself kinds of entertainment, so expats might spend a little more, maybe $300 per month for the two of them. Okay, let's add all this up. Estimated cost to retire in Tirana, Albania. I'll start with the lower. Rents $422 US, utilities $60, groceries $320, restaurants $180, cell data $18, laundry $0, drinking water $5, internet $28, and transportation $50. If you add up all those basic costs, it would be $1,083 per month for the two of us. Alcohol $120 would bring it up to $1,203 per month. Add $200 optional entertainment, it'd bring you up to $1,403 per month for the two of us. Okay, let's add up the middle. The higher rent, utilities, groceries, restaurants, higher cell data, and the higher transportation. Those basic costs would be $1,684 per month. Add the $220 for alcohol, you'd be at $1,904. $300 for entertainment would put you at $2,204 per month. Now, my above lower cost estimate would be for the two of us living on a tight budget. I gathered this data with my feet on the ground in Tirana, Albania in August of 2024. When we first started exploring the world in 2018 together, we were on a tighter budget. And that was before the recent inflation. But now we spend more money because we have it. We receive additional income from YouTube and memberships. Plus, slowly traveling the world like we do costs more than the above stationary life estimates. I would estimate that 80 to 90% of overseas retirees would spend significantly more than our above estimated lower budget. But you have two numbers there. So the middle estimate is just another example of what other expats might spend for these expenses if they move there. To understand what it would cost you to live here, you must put your feet on the ground, see what you would choose to rent, eat, drink, and how you'd entertain yourself, and add it all up. It doesn't matter what anyone else spends because we are all different. If you're a retired expat in Albania and would like to share your cost of living on my channel, if you would like to be a guest, please email me at vagabondbuddha.com/contact/ and I'll invite you on the channel as a guest. Okay, Albania retirement. desirability factors. I'll now share what I learned about Albania's retirement visas, healthcare, walkability, internet, food, weather, things to do, social considerations, safety, expat communities, and real estate, and then assign an overall retirement desirability score to Albania. Okay, here we go. Walkability, I would say high. We walked everywhere in Tirana. We found all of our daily needs within a 5 to 20 minute walk from our apartment in Central. So we would not need a car if we lived in Tirana. Avoiding the expense of a car would be highly desirable to us. You have a cute car.
Thank you.
She said thank you, and she feels like American.
It's a beautiful car.
Yeah, I love that car. If you'd like my free ebook about how I fired my boss and traveled the world for 17 years and how I pay for things, come to Vagabond Buddha and grab the free ebook. Internet, high. The Wi-Fi in our Airbnb had about 30 megabits per second down and 6 megabits per second upload speeds. But we heard that we could get 100 megabits per second for about 28 US per month. More on that in a second. Okay, food, high. There was a huge farmer's market walkable from our apartment, but smaller ones when you only need a few things here and there. For fresh fruits, vegetables, and meats, we'd shop in the farmer's markets. For other non-perishable foods and items, we would shop in any of the grocery stores. Our web page with links to all of these resources are at the first comment below this video. There are local restaurants with delicious meals starting at 5 to 7 US per meal per person, and international food restaurants starting at around 10 to 14. One of the things that really blew our minds about Tirana was the little Italian restaurants with amazing pasta that we found for starting around $5 per entree, and it was primo, gourmet even pasta. It's on our restaurant list, which on the full report, link below. Weather, I would say high. The coldest month in Tirana is in January, with an average daily high of 53 Fahrenheit, which is 12 Celsius, and a nightly low of 33 Fahrenheit, which is 1 Celsius for January. The hottest month in Tirana is with an average daily high of 88 Fahrenheit, which is 31 Celsius, and a nightly low of 63 Fahrenheit, which is 17 Celsius for the hottest month, which is July. The best time to visit Tirana is April through June, and then September through October. Unless you prefer warmer weather like me, then I would say May through September. It rarely snows in Tirana. The last 2 times it stuck on the ground was in 1985 and in 2017. Things to do, I'd say high. We both really loved Tirana. Our favorite things to do was to wander around the city for hours and enjoy all the different styles of architecture and the tree-lined neighborhoods. Tirana seemed architecturally unique in that it had both ancient buildings that were maintained beautifully, but also had modern buildings with such artistic designs. They sort of turned the city into a walking modern art museum. With a population of about 600,000 people, and despite being a capital city, Tirana never felt too big or too small, and there was always something going on whenever we went on long walks. An event calendar link provided showcases Tirana's October Tirana Marathon, the German Techno Street Rave, International Film Festival, Wine and Vineyard Festival, the National Theater Opera and Ballet Season, the Feast of Friendship, the Tirana Food Festival, and a string of international performing artists and DJs. Okay, social considerations, I would say high. When communism crashed in the 1990s, English was not widely spoken in Albania, but things changed quickly. By 2006, about 60% of Albanian children in Tirana could speak fluent or semi-fluent English. Those kids are all adults now. So it is possible to live in Tirana, the capital city of Albania, without speaking the Albanian language. But it'll be more difficult, especially with older Albanians. They don't speak much English. Tirana is growing rapidly with a significant expat community. Many people in the tourism, hospitality, and business communicate in English, but not everyone. When we ran into someone who couldn't speak English, they usually called someone else over to help us, or there was someone nearby that just started helping. Okay, safety considerations. I would say hi. Albania was ranked the 42nd safest country in the world, 90 spots safer than the USA. When I last checked, the US State Department webpage published a level 2 risk for Albania. Exercise increased precaution when in Albania due to crime. You can also review my report, How to Travel the World Safely, which is how I've remained safe traveling the world for 17 years. We went out walking after midnight, drinking in central Tirana, and never felt a hint of trouble. Okay, expat community. I would say hi. Albania joined NATO as a full member in 2009 and applied for European Union membership that same year. The EU has asked for final changes before Albania is admitted, but the president of the EU Commission in charge of that has signaled that the future of the Western Balkans is in the EU. But Albania is not yet using the euro, which has kept prices lower, in my opinion. Here are a few Facebook pages that cater to English-speaking expats living in Albania. There's 4 of them and links to them. These online expat communities are great for learning all about things that expats want to learn when they first move overseas. Make sure to search for previous questions asked and answered recently before posting any questions to these groups. They're more likely to answer them. Okay, medical, I would say medium. This Healthcare International Comparison Index ranks Albania 66th in the world, 3 spots more desirable than the United States, which is ranked at 69th. There are different ways healthcare is rated, but this one seems to be considering quality of care in relation to what the services cost. If you decide to move here, make sure to ask around for referrals and establish relationships with doctors based on the feedback you've gotten from others who've used their services. The above expat Facebook pages may be a good source for that. Okay, tourist visas. I would say hi. Citizens of 84 countries can visit Albania as tourists without obtaining a visa. This link provides a quick list of the countries, but do double check with the Albanian embassy in your home country before making any final plans. The tourist visa exemption is good for a maximum of 90 days in Albania during any 180-day period for many countries, but only the USA citizens get 1 year free visa entry into Albania without getting a visa. Okay, residence permits. I would say hi. According to this Albanian source link provided, there's a number of ways to apply for residency in Albania, but I'll focus on these 2, residence permit for pensioners and residence permit for real estate. Pensioners must supply a lease contract in Albania, proof of pension from your home country, 120,000 Albanian local money, which is $1,343 per month, into an approved bank in Albania. You need proof of health insurance and proof of judicial or criminal record from your home country, along with the application and other documents and forms. The second is real estate purchase. A real estate purchase must supply a certificate of real estate ownership or a contract for purchase, proof of sufficient financial resource to live in Albania, along with application and other forms. For all Albania residence permits, I would hire a local immigration lawyer to make sure I'm doing it right. Rather than promoting any particular immigration lawyer, I would recommend that you request a referral to a lawyer on one of the Albania expat Facebook pages I shared above. Ask for expats there what immigration lawyer they used successfully to get residence permits for Albania, and I would go with one of those. Okay, real estate. I would say hi. When I read about it today, foreigners are allowed to purchase real estate in Albania. Today I saw this 2-bedroom apartment for sale for 130,000 euros, which is about 145,000 US in the central area in a neighborhood I like. But if you're willing to live outside the walkable city center, you may be able to find an apartment for half that amount, which I'm showing now on screen. However, I'm not recommending that you buy either of these. They're just 2 examples. I do not recommend buying real estate in a foreign country until you've lived there for an extended period of time, making sure you love it. If you decide to buy real estate, you should also get your own lawyer who has no conflict of interest with you. For example, do not use a lawyer recommended by your real estate broker or your local lover. Albania retirement desirability score. I would say high. Tirana was one of our favorite cities during our tour of Eastern Europe in 2024 summer. The winters are relatively mild here as compared to other parts of Eastern Europe, so I could live here year-round without need to fly south for the winter. I like warmer year-round weather, but I don't mind cooler weather for a few months of the year so long as it's not super cold. Also, this part of the world is so beautiful, I would love to live here. What would it cost you to live here in Tirana, Albania? You should also add anything to the above table that you spend money on in your home country that's not listed in the table. Presumably, you find those things necessary to life. To do that, visit Numbeo Tirana and add anything not mentioned in the above table. Again, there's links to all this on the full report. Also, if you are going to try to retire cheap offshore, make sure to read my report, The 2 Biggest Risks of Retiring Early for Cheap Offshore, which explains why you should have emergency funds available for unexpected large expenses. Never move anywhere until you've visited first personally to verify the living costs for your lifestyle and needs. I'm not guaranteeing these prices. These are just my notes and estimates from the time of my visit and this post. Your costs will likely be drastically different depending on your lifestyle and the time since this post. Well, thanks for watching my video. If you'd like to watch my top 15 places in the entire world to retire cheap for 2024, click the link in the upper right-hand corner of your screen right now.